So I'm talking tonight with Jim McCormick, who's a candidate for the presidency of the Progressive Conservative Association of Alberta. The PCs will be going to the poll this weekend, actually, at their annual general meeting held in Calgary to elect a new executive, and one of the contested spots is that four-party president. So, Jim, thank you very much for talking to me tonight.
Oh, thank you, Jory.
Well, let's get started right at the beginning, and why don't you tell us a little bit about your political and personal background?
Okay. I'll touch on the personal first. I'm 58. Been married to Louise since 1977. Father of two married daughters. Grandfather to twins, a boy and a girl that were born in March this year. After I graduated from high school in Edmonton, I went to the University of Calgary and earned a commerce degree. And I've worked in the oil patch since 1975, having sold a business in the spring, and consider myself semi-retired.
Very good. All right, and what's your political involvement? Why have people heard Jim McCormick's name before?
Well, politically, I guess my involvement does go back to the first Lockheed victory in 1971. I was only 17, wasn't even old enough to vote, but I did stuff envelopes and pounded signs for Len Wary, who was our local MLA at that point. Then really it was school, establishing a career and a family. Been back and involved continuously since 1989. First in Calgary Northwest, where I was living, and then eventually into Varsity, where I moved in 1997. I've held a number of executive positions, virtually all the VP roles, and then I've been the constituency president in both Northwest and Varsity. In both of those associations, we were beaten. We built, rebuilt, and we just kept on building until we had some success on electing a PCMLA.
Good.
In 2006 and 2011, I worked with the party organization in running the leadership process that we had in each of those years. 2008, I moved from being president of Varsity to being a regional director. Then I was privileged to have the party ask me to co-chair our AGM in 2010. I took what I call the Battlefield Commission and stepped into the role of Calgary VP at the beginning of 2011. So I guess I set up chairs, organized events, strategized, recruited candidates, run nomination votes, run the leadership votes, counted ballots, commiserated when we ended up on the wrong side, and celebrated when and a lot more on the victory side.
Okay, so put another way then, I guess, Jim, is there anything for the PC party that you haven't done yet?
Well, I haven't been president.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll find out on Saturday whether we're going to be celebrating that then.
Yes.
Now you have an absolutely huge list of endorsements on your website. What does it mean to you to have the public support of so many people who've worked with you over the years in the PC party?
Well, it's both humbling and gratifying. There are a lot of people who've provided endorsements with whom I've worked on a number of things over a number of years, but also from people that I've met just during my treks across the province this past couple of months during my campaign. I'm really happy to have the support of PC members across the province, but those endorsements do come with a responsibility, and if successful in this pursuit of the presidency, strengthening the organization and the brand, it's a legacy that we've all had a role in establishing.
Right. Okay. Well, you right at the top there listed a whole ton of things, just a laundry list of potential answers to this next question. But what would you say is your proudest moment in your involvement in politics thus far?
Well, Proudest, really, without doubt, was the entire 1997 campaign.
Yeah.
In Calgary Northwest, I was a rookie president of an orphan constituency. We ran a very competitive and galvanizing nomination race there ahead of that vote, and with the result, we had a great candidate that defeated a sitting opposition member. And that new PC MLA was Greg Melchin, who went on to be who I think was a terrific MLA and a member of cabinet.
Of course, yeah. Great. Well, for the first time in a generation, the PC party is being seriously challenged for power by a well-organized and well-funded opposition. How does the party keep its edge over the opposition parties going forward, in your opinion?
Well, we just have to be better organized, better funded, better prepared than our opponents, and really in tune with both our members and Albertans. Better organization, funding, and preparation are built on people, and we have lots of great people, and that support our organization and volunteer for the party.
Okay. Great. Well, speaking of that opposition, now the Wildrose Alliance, we can call them by name, it's okay. They're holding their AGM at the end of this month in Edmonton, and the registration cost is less than half that of the PC AGM. When you add in a policy convention, a regional premier's dinner, and your local MLA's fundraiser, it can add up to nearly $1,000 per year. Has the PC party gotten to be too expensive a proposition for average middle-class Albertans to belong to and meaningfully participate in?
That's a great question. We really don't measure our members and supporters by their ability to donate or attend the fundraisers. The regular meetings of the local constituency associations, and they're free, and as well as the fundraisers that a lot of our groups do have. That's where meaningful participation starts, and that's the essence of grassroots, and that's what I see as the conduit of providing value to our members.
Okay.
Meaningful participation really is ensuring that the members have a voice, and to see that voice is part of the conversation and that it results in action. Our AGMs and policy conferences are built on the premise of cost recovery, but I would agree that we've got to strive to make them more affordable or do things in a different way. Right. Our membership fees, they're rising in 2013, but that's the first time in a long time, at least a decade that I'm aware. So in 2013, $10 will get you 1 year, 20 will get you 2, and 25 gets you a 3-year membership. I guess for leaders' dinners and MLA fundraisers, they're just that, they're fundraisers, and they'll have a bigger price tag, but also a different purpose than the meetings and the events that we use to engage the members.
Great. Okay, well, you mentioned that the party needs to, in order to maintain an edge on the opposition, it needs to raise money. Now, the PC party has drawn heavy criticism in the press and from the opposition parties over the past year for irregularities in fundraising. How can the party clear the air and restore trust that all rules are being followed and no influence or favors are being purchased in exchange for PC party fundraising?
Well, there might be perception out there that the PCs are the only party that have been investigated on fundraising. All political stripes have gone under scrutiny. The Chief Electoral Office, and I think that's one thing that's not out there in much at all. Those involving the PCs get more press and airtime because I think, in my opinion, we sit as the government.
Right.
But this fall, provisions will be considered in the legislature, introduced by the PCs, the PC government, to allow the release of the results of those investigations by the Chief Electoral Office. And that would go a long way in providing confidence that the rules are being followed, and where where they're not, the penalties are being imposed on the offending parties.
Right. So daylight is the best disinfectant.
Yes.
Great. Well, your campaign lists 3 priorities, and they are supporting local constituency associations, empowering members, and modernizing party operations. Let's take a look at those one at a time. First, in terms of supporting local constituency associations, you've been a regional director for the PC Party and the Calgary Vice President most recently. If you could make one change that would immediately improve the outlook for local constituency associations today, what would that change be?
Is only one change. Well, if successful in my bid, there would be more than one. But I think the most important would be for each constituency organization to have the confidence that each is as important as any other. They're really where the rubber hits the road for us locally across the province. And we need all 87 of them to be strong because they're the building blocks for the success of the whole party, the whole association.
Right. Okay. Now, in terms of empowering members, one of the frequently repeated complaints among longtime PC members is the policy process, which allows the party's legislative caucus to essentially overrule the grassroots. In your opinion, what role should caucus have in running and determining policy for the PC Party?
Well, the policy process is something that's been a point of discussion for a while and has come up often in my conversations with our members that I've talked to during the campaign. It's also reflected in some of the constitutional adjustments that are being considered at the AGM. As for caucus and their role, in my opinion, they do have a role, but that's both as advocate once it is brought forward, but also an information resource. One of the things that people don't often have aren't often aware of is what might also be being worked on already by government in one way, shape, or form. But running the process and determining the policy, no, that's not a role of caucus. The party will run the process, and establishment of a platform has to encompass discussions with all members, and the MLAs and caucus members are members.
Okay. Sure. All right. Now, elections are won in between elections. What modern and future technologies do the PC Party need to adopt and embrace today in order to ensure a successful election in 2016?
Oh, geez. If I could comment or bring up future technologies and their application, I might have a pretty viable second career.
Well, you did say you were somewhat retired.
Yeah, well, I'll comment on some of the technology available today, and I know things that we have talked about, and that's communication technologies, including social media. I think they've become and will continue to be important. Alberta and Albertans are spread out geographically, and certainly been my experience that we're pretty busy people. So we need those technologies that allow us to communicate not only timely but across the distances that we have in this province. That will allow distribution of information, but we need that exchange of ideas as well as providing some wider ability for us to fundraise and collect data and information. And I think referring back to one of your earlier questions, those technologies may ultimately allow us to modify the format and provide broader participation at meetings of our membership.
Great. All right. Well, one last question. What is the biggest challenge you face heading into Christmas as a grandfather of twins?
hate to say that's probably the easiest of the questions that you've asked me, but the biggest challenge for the grandfather of twins is keeping the grandmother of twins from draining the bank account for the twins' gifts. But that's my biggest challenge here over the next 6 weeks. After the election, of course.
Of course. Well, that sounds terrific. Now, the actual voting takes place when at the AGM this weekend?
There is voting through until 3 o'clock on Saturday.
Okay.
I know it's open Friday evening as well. And I'm sorry, I don't know when it's cut off on Friday, but I do believe that it opens approximately 5 o'clock.
Okay. And if people are looking to meet up with you on Friday or Saturday to bend your ear a little bit before making their decision, I don't imagine you'll be very hard to find?
No, we will have a large presence both Friday evening. We are jointly having a hospitality suite, and yes, I'll be very visible on the floor throughout the day on Saturday.
Terrific. Well, Jim McCormick, running for president of the PC Association of Alberta. Jim, good luck to you, and we'll see you this weekend.
Thank you very much.
All right.